This lesson will be about simplifying. So our objective is I can use order of operations to simplify. Order of operations are important because they help us determine when looking at different operations in an expression, which one do we do first? So first of all, what we would do is we'd start with grouping symbols. Grouping symbols come in many forms. Typically they're in the form of parentheses. Maybe they're in the form of a bracket. They also are in the form of a fraction bar. A fraction bar means group everything above it, like having a parentheses around the numerator, and everything below it, so it's like there's a parentheses in the denominator. So those are the types of grouping symbols we typically use. The next thing we want to do is we want to simplify exponents. After that, we have pairs that come up. And those pairs we do from left to right. The first pair is we look at multiplication or division. Now be careful because it's not multiplication comes before division. They're on the same order. They go left to right. So whichever one comes first on the left, that one is the one we start with. Next, after that, another pair that goes together is addition or subtraction. So again, we do those two left to right. If we come across an addition and subtraction in a problem, whichever one comes on the left, we do first. So these guys are pairs. Make sure you don't always do multiplication before division. If the division comes to the left of multiplication, you do it first. And same with this. Don't always do addition before subtraction. You do the subtraction first if it comes on the left, or the addition first if it comes on the left. Left to right. Some people use the word PEMDAS to help them remember these things. The P stands for the grouping symbols, because the ones that we use the most are parentheses. So this would be parentheses, then you do exponents, then you do multiplication and division that come together, and then you do addition and subtraction, which come together left to right in order for our order of operations. Let's do a few examples. This first one, again, we look at our order here. We're going to do what's in the parentheses first. You're tempted to do 20 minus 10 first and get a 10. Nope, you want to do what's inside first. So we're going to have 20 minus 10 times, and on the inside, now we just look at the inside here and say what comes first. Then we do the exponents. So I'm going to have 4 times 5 minus 4 squared is equal to 16. Now looking inside here, because we're not done with the parentheses, we're going to do the multiplication before the subtraction. Okay, so I get 10 times 4 times 5 is 20 minus 16. Now let's simplify that 20 minus 16. You get that equal to 4. So we get 20 minus, now we do, before the subtraction, we do the multiplication. So 20 minus 40, which gives us negative 20 for an answer. Okay, so that's how you do order of operations given this line of operations. Now on this one, remember that fraction bar is considered a grouping symbol. If it stretches all the way over, whatever's above it, the numerator, gets grouped together. Whatever's below it gets grouped together. It's kind of like doing this. It's like saying 15 plus 7 times 2 divided by, and in the bottom, 120 divided by 2 minus 2. Okay, so that bar means division. That's what a fraction bar means. It means group the top together, group the bottom together. Now down here, what we're going to do is we're going to do the multiplication first. So I'm going to get 14 here. I'm going to go ahead and do the grouping symbol down here as well. You do left to right, but we did this one. We're doing this one. Let's go ahead and do this one together. So we're going to get, now what comes first, division or subtraction? Don't do 2 minus 2. You're tempted to get a 0 there. Do the 120 divided by 2 first. That gives us a 60 minus the 2. Okay, then we have 15 plus 14 gives us a 29. Down here we have a 58, and 29 over 58 reduces down to 1/2 for our answer. That's using order of operations to simplify that one. Now this last one I wanted to throw in, we're going to primarily be working at the beginning here with just numbers to review order of operations, which is something you've done before. But here I'm going to throw in a variable to emphasize something that is a kind of a recurring difficulty students have in Algebra 2. And that's making sure this negative gets distributed through parentheses, through grouping symbols. This is like, if I want to take this, I want to make this, it's like having a plus a -1 distributed through the 2x plus 3. And so now I'm going to go ahead, I can't add these together because I can't simplify something as a variable with just the number. So these are not like terms, can't simplify. So the next thing I would do is between addition and the multiplication, I'm going to do the multiplication and distribute it through. That's the distributive property. Plus -1 times 2x is -2x. -1 times 3 is a -3. And so what I want to emphasize is that negative gets distributed to both the 2x and also to the 3, both. 17 plus -3 gives me a 14 plus -2x, and I'm just going to rewrite that as -2x plus 14 simplified. And this is an example with variables using order of operations. So to simplify using order of operations, you want to use this order, and some people remember it using PEMDAS, but that will tell you when looking at different operations which one to do first.